Vince Russell from Get Good with Vince here, off on another journey. Now, I said I was going to be working in animation for the foreseeable future, but I get bored very quickly and I jump around. Plus, I just learned a lot about Rigify. So we're going to learn the basics of Rigify today, and I'll be reminding myself of those as well. For those of you that don't know, Rigify is an add-on. It's free, comes with Blender. Let's make sure it's enabled. Hit Edit, Preferences. Oh, you know what? Let's make sure our screencast keys are turned on first. I forgot to do that last time. I don't know why this keeps turning off here. Got to turn it on there. Before I go back out, let's just look for Rigify. There it is, Rigging Rigify. Just make sure that's enabled and you'll be all set. I've got auto-save preferences on, so I don't have to save anything. Maybe that's what the problem is. I don't know. Maybe I should just save preferences just in case. All right. So now we're all set. You notice I don't see a Rigify panel over here. I do see my screencast keys, which I'm going to turn on. There we go. And make them a lot bigger. And there we go. So yeah, I don't see a Rigify panel over here. And that's because you don't see it, at least I don't remember seeing it, until you see an armature. Now what's great about Rigify is you can use it in many different ways. The way that I was familiar with was Shift A. You can add an armature, and then you can see here you have a human meta rig, an animal, bird, cat, horse, shark, wolf, or a basic human or basic quadruped rig. Let's start out with the human armature, human meta rig. Now this comes in, and it is quite robust, we'll say. Looks pretty simple right now, except for the face, of course, face rig. But what's great about it is you just go over here to your armature, and you see you have your Rigify buttons here. We won't get into the bone groups right now or the layer names because I haven't quite figured those out. Probably make another video with those. But we've got our Rigify buttons. We'll just talk about this right now. And if we just hit Generate Rig, it just generates a rig, just like that. Let's hide the underlying armature here. Hit H, select our rig, hit Tab, actually Control Tab, and pick Pose Mode. So here's our rig. Now we can't really see a lot. We don't have a mesh attached right now, but let's just grab this guy right here, and we can see got some IK action going on here. Got some IK action here with the arm right there, and then this is our pole vector here. We can set it. I know we can set it so we have a pole vector back here, like a lot of people like typically. Another great thing is you have IK FK switching. So now we have a Rigify tab here since we have an actual Rigify rig, and it's not under there. It's under Item. There it is. It's under Item. Rigify main properties. So here we have this arm, and we're going to take the IK FK hand, and we're going to move it all the way over here to 1. And now that IK controller, just like in a it controls that pole vector, but not the arm. Just like in a professional rig, now we have FK right here. So IK FK switching. One thing I love about the hands, watch this. If you select these little handles here, could have just lasso selected them. Now see if you can see each one of these rings is like a knuckle, on a hand. If you select these all, hit S to scale, you scale down, and now you're making a fist, curling those fingers. You don't have to do them all at the same time. You can do them individually. So a quick way to bend those fingers, that's pretty cool. They've got, great controls here. We have with the IK, the hips, or I'm not sure exactly what you'd call that. Maybe these are the hips, because then you rotate these and they can isolate the actual hips, the head. And if you look once again, the facial rig, very complex. These are the eyes in here. These guys in here, eye controllers. And watch when I move the eye controller here. You see how they move a little bit, and that simulates the fleshy eye feel that you get. When you move your eyes, the flesh around them moves just a little bit. Even if you're looking. You're not blinking and you're not really, trying to open and close your eyes. The flesh around your eyes is going to move a little bit, so that simulates that. I mean, the rig is just absolutely just, oh, and there's your jaw. Just an absolutely amazing. Look at that, pulls on the nose. The flesh is getting slightly pulled there, so it's an absolutely amazing rig, and all for free. That's what's so amazing about it. Let's select everything here, and Alt-G, Alt-R, get everything back here. We're not even going to need to do that because we're actually going to get rid of that. So let's tab out back to object mode here, and then we'll get rid of this guy. Shift H, and we'll get rid of this guy too. Now there's other rigs, as we mentioned. Shift A, you have your animal rigs. Your basic rig, the human rig, is very similar but it's not as complex. You see, you don't have your fingers here, you don't have your facial setup, you just have a head bone. But if you generate a rig for this one, you get something that is just as robust everywhere else. I gotta stop saying robust. I gotta find another word. Just as capable everywhere else. Oh, I forgot to show you the last time. The foot roll is really awesome, because the foot roll, always had trouble with one of those. See? You just do that. You know, there's the heel lifting up. The ball represents the heel. We're gonna bind this later, so you'll kind of see. And then you have the. You know what? Let's bind it now. Yeah, let's do that. So let's tab out of here, back into object mode, and let's unhide. Let's get rid of this rig, and then we're gonna unhide this guy, and let's bring in a quick mesh. Okay, all right. Let's append it onto our collection, and we got a human. Okay, so. That came in with another rig. I didn't know that had another rig. Let's get rid of that. Actually, is that the Rigify rig? Let's find out. I think it is. So let's get rid of this rig, X. Yeah, I think it's another Rigify rig that was in this other file. So you'd basically get the rig and you'd edit it. And this one right here is pretty important. That's like a heel bone. So let's make sure we're in edit mode. Zoom in on that by hitting the full stop or period key. What are my screencast keys? Did they turn off? Let's find out. Well, it says they're turned on, but I don't see anything. Let me tab out back into object mode. Yeah, see, that's what's so weird. Screencast keys aren't working anymore. Let's turn them back on. Now they're working. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know if it's going to keep happening. I'll try to keep my eye on it. All right, so edit mode. Let's zoom in on this guy, and then let's look at it from the back. So I hit Control 1 for my back view, and it's roughly the width of the foot, which is what you want, because that's going to control that side-to-side motion of the foot. So you want that to be about the width of the foot. All right, so that looks good. Let's go back out to object mode. We'll select our armature, go into our, is it item tab? No, it's the tool. Grab the armature, item tool, view. It is not a Rigify rig. All right, let's get a Rigify rig out here. Get rid of this guy, delete that. Shift A, armature. Let's do basic human rig. Come over here to our armature tab. Select our viewport display. Check in front so we can see it. Tab into it. Select everything. Look at it from the front. Let's scale this guy down to try to meet. Let's scale from the 3D cursor and scale him down just to meet the proportions. Now let's just speed this up while I edit the armature to fit the mesh. Boy, I wish I really could work this fast. That would be really awesome. Alright, that's about it. Alright, we'll select the... nope, we gotta hit make a rig first. Let's generate a rig. See how fast that was now? So now we'll hide that. We'll select this. Now this is our rig. And then we'll select our body, Control P. And then we will, no, what did I do wrong? Oh, we select the body and then we select the rig. And then we hit Control P. And now we can say with automatic weights. Okay, great. So now we have our armature. It's rigged, it's bound, and we can actually start working with this. Now you can see just how cool this rig is, how you get, whoops, I want to rotate, not, well, that's not rotate. That's not the one. Where's the pole vector? Let's see. Okay, that's not the pole vector for the leg. I'm pretty sure that one is for the arm. Yeah. All right, so I messed something up here because that's not working the way it's supposed to. But for the most part, oh, there's what. I'm an idiot. I'm rotating from the 3D cursor. So let's put it back to median point. Select all of our bones. Alt R G S if we need to. That resets the rotation, scale, and movement or translation. All right, so now if I pull this forwards and then I rotate this guy, there we go. Now that's the pole vector for the elbow. And I believe we can do the same thing for the leg. Let's see if I hit G to move. Yeah, G will move it, which we don't want. R will rotate it. There we go. Yep, and that's the pole vector. All right, great. Oh, here's that awesome foot roll I was talking about. Let's do G, Z, constrain it. Nope. X, there we go. Up on the toe, back on the heel. That's awesome. That is so cool. and you get that for free with the rig. I wonder if we can rotate. No, can't rotate it that way. There is a control though. Look at that. You get your toes individually. This is just awesome. You just get so much functionality out of this. And then the hips are separate. So it's just an extremely capable rig. I didn't have those like right on where I needed to. I probably needed to. Oh, I remember what I forgot to. I scaled it, and I forgot to, what's the term? Reset the scale. You know, when you do your Control A, and it's not that one. When you come out of here and you do Control A, there it is, and you apply. Yeah, I forgot to apply the scale on the rig, and so I did it. But just awesome rig, awesome rig. Okay, now we did all that. Talked about all that to show you that you can just create a human rig like super easy, super fast. But I think the best part about Rigify is the fact that you don't have to create the rig like that. Oops. We don't want to do that. There we go. What am I doing here? Pose mode. Select everything. Alt R, G, S. Get it back to normal. That way the guy stays normal. Object mode. Alt H. Get rid of both of these. Okay, so we got our human back. So yeah, so like I was saying, one of the best parts, clear out our weights here. Delete all groups, go over to our modifier, and get rid of our armature modifier because we're going to want to use this guy again. All right, so the best thing, I think, about Rigify is the fact that you do not have to build, or you don't have to use that rig. You can build any kind of rig you want. And just to prove a point, let's bring in another mesh. Actually, I'll just get rid of this guy. Let's bring in this. Now, I got this mesh from, oh, there we go again. Maybe you have to bring it in twice for it to work. There we go. So we'll append it. Go in our collection. There we go. So I got this mesh from a Rigify lesson that I purchased. And let me see. I want to get rid of modifier. Look at that. Why did it come in? Oh, it came in smooth, shaded smooth. I want to shade flat. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I got this mesh, the other mesh rather, from a Rigify lesson that I purchased. I just want to give credit where credit's due for that one. I'll probably leave, maybe I'll leave a link as to where the lesson is. It's on Artstation. So I just took it and modified it. And the teacher in that lesson, he did the same thing. He modified it, made like a three-armed human. He made a one-legged alien with like one arm on one side and two arms on the other or something. But just to show that you don't have to do just a conventional human rig. Now here's what's so great about it. Watch this. Shift A. I'm going to add a regular armature, single bone, right? And then I'm going to tab into edit mode, and I am going to delete that single bone. Now I can go in my armature, go over here to my armature tab, and you notice I have my Rigify buttons, but now it's different because I'm in my edit mode. I don't see my generate rig. I see just a bunch of things in here. And these are different types of, I don't know, bone groups, widgets, whatever they want to call them. There's a name for them, I'm sure. But basically, they're things that you can use to build your rig. So let's just get into this and say, what do we need first? Well, let's just grab a leg. So you'll pick your item from Rigify. You'll click Add Sample. Forgot to go in here to my armature and to display in front. And look, here's a leg. Okay? Now, watch this. I'm going to tab out. And I have my Generate Rig button right here. If I hit Generate Rig, a rig is generated that has just that leg in it. And it works the same way with all the features that that leg has. We don't need the rest of the rig to do that. We can just generate that leg. Of course, who wants to just generate one leg? I mean, maybe you do. I don't know. Back to object mode. Let's get rid of this guy. Okay. So now we've got this one leg, and it's got naming convention all set up for the left side, so we can easily mirror it over to the right side. Let's look at it from the front, and let's line up the bones a little better. All right, so we got that, and now I want to add another thing. I want to add a spine. So we add the spine. Look at that, kind of in the right place. I think we need to come down a little lower. So that's good. Now let's put in an arm. We add that. It always adds it at the bottom, but that's okay. You just lift it up here. Okay, that's good. And here's what's awesome. Watch this. Select that arm, Shift D, pull it right down for the other arm. Then we're gonna look for a head. Don't ask me what super head versus regular head or super limb or regular limb. I don't know. I don't know what the super is. Maybe there's more functionality. So is there a head? You know what? I think that's what it is. Super face. That's all the facial rigs. I think the head is just the head. Yeah, that's just the head and the neck. So let's move this down a bit, and then let's grab all this. And if you notice, let's see, do we have ears? No, we don't have ears. So we'll talk about that in a second, but watch this. Okay, so I'm going to symmetrize everything I need. So I can just select these guys, come over here, armature, symmetrize. It'll automatically put them over there, just the one arm right there. And then my screencast keys aren't working again. I don't know what's going on. They're turned on, but they just stop working. I don't know why. Sorry about that. All right, so now I'll pick my rig. I'll come over here and I'll hit generate rig again. Let's see. Oh, that's right. Heel bone not found. Incorrect armature for type leg. Let's try this again. Oh, forgot to symmetrize that. That's another thing. It'll tell you when you got it wrong. You know, if you're missing something. Now let's see if it works this time. Generate rig. Okay, it worked that time. So it means I have everything I need. I forgot to parent stuff. So stuff is going to be a little wonky. Let's hide that. Select the rig, select the body, Control P. Select the body, then the rig, Control P. Get it wrong every time. Automatic weights. Go into our rig, into pose mode, and look at that. Got ourselves a rig. And it's a pretty decent one. Got two arms, 1 and 2, both with their own pole vectors that work awesome. Okay. Oh, can we dare believe that they have their own IKFK? Yeah, look at that hand, O1, IKFK controller. So we could have one hand on FK and one on IK if we wanted to. Oh, wow, that's awesome. It's just so cool. Now, one thing you notice, the character's got a tail and ears that we did not rig. Oh no, what do we do? Let's find out. Let's select all of our rig, Alt-R, Alt-G to get everything back to normal, tab out into object mode, and let's delete this particular rig, Alt-H to bring back our original armature, and we can continue editing this. And what's great is that the weights will stay the same. If we add more bones, we're going to have to re-weight it. But if we just made some changes, like if we just went in and just edited positions of the rig and everything, we could just regenerate the rig and all the weights, like let's say we had already painted our weights, all the weights would already be there, you know, so you wouldn't lose anything. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so we forgot to do the ears and the tail. So let's go in here. Now watch this. We can come in here and we can add additional functionality two different ways. I'm going to look over here. I thought there was a tail, but there isn't a tail. But what's a tail like? A tail can be like a tentacle, right? Like an octopus tentacle. I'll add that sample. We got our tentacle. I'll bring it up. So that's roughly there. So now we've added this tentacle, which will have controls. You know, let's wait to generate that. So a tentacle basically acts like, you can't see me right now. I'm waving my arms like an idiot. You know, like an octopus tentacle. So a tail, yeah, it's roughly about the same. So now ears. So we don't see anything. We see something that has face, but we don't want a whole face. We just want ears. So this is what's really awesome. So now I've got some ears I've added, right? Well, not really. You see, just because I added them doesn't mean they're going to work with Rigify. Let's prove that by coming over here and generating our rig again. And then watch the ears closely. Well, actually, you know, see the tail? We just added the tail. So watch the tail. Put it this way so you can see the tail. And watch the ears. We hit generate rig, and we hide what we generated. There's nothing here for the ears. Okay, we have our head. All right? But no ears. We have our tail. I don't think this is weighted. Yeah, we didn't weight that to it. So let's come back out real quick. Object mode. Select the mesh. Select the armature. Control P. Automatic weights. That would overwrite our other weights. So hopefully we would have all of our bones created before we have to do that. Okay. There we go. And there's our tail. Oh, look at that. We get free curling. Oh, there's a tentacle. That's the way a tentacle would work. Oh, we got that for free. Look at that. Awesome. All right. So why didn't we get our ears? Well, simple. Because we didn't tell Rigify that those ears were that we wanted those ears to be part of our rig. So let's delete this rig. We don't have to always delete it. You can hide it. But then you have to unhide it when you want to regenerate the rig. And I always forget to unhide it, and it throws an error, and I hate that. So I just always delete it and just create another one. So what we can do is we can come in here into our pose mode with our armature that we create as our guide. And for this bone, we just need one bone in the chain. We need to give it a Rigify type. So if we go over here to our bone properties, you notice down here we have a Rigify type setting. I don't know if I can somehow get that to come up. Yeah, we can come up a little higher. So if we click on Rigify type, we notice, hey, it looks just like the other types of bones there are. So, excuse me, you can set the bone type by choosing a bone in edit mode and clicking on it. Like, let's just go over here real quick again. You can come over here to the armature. Yeah, you can pick one of these and you can click add sample. Or in pose mode, you can pick a bone you've already added and go to the bone tab, and you can choose the Rigify type. And I think I'm going to make a basic raw copy because I think that's like one of the most basic ones you can add. And I'll do the same thing with this one. Basic raw copy. I think that's what I want. It might not be. Let's just hope. And there's other things you can do, like you can decide like how you want it to appear, if you want it to have a widget to control it or not. Let's see, just a quick look here. I don't see it. Maybe you have to go into edit mode. Okay, I spend way too much time trying to find this, so let's just speed it up a bit. Rigify type. Oh, maybe because it's basic raw copy. Let me see if I give it something else. Basic super. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So basic super copy. That will tell me if I want to have a control, what type of widget I wanted. So let's make it a basic super copy instead. Basic super copy. And I do want to control a widget. All I know is that this will make it, if it's checked, it'll make it a circle that'll go around the bone. And if it's not checked, it'll make like a box around it. Okay. So let's just experiment with that, and let's like take the control and the widget off of that one. No, just the control off of that one. And take the widget off of this one. There we go. And we'll see what happens. So now Rigify knows what those are. Rigify knows we want it to be part of our rig. So we pick our object mode, and we come over here, armature tab, and we generate our rig. We got it. Let's hide this armature. Select the body. Select this guy because we haven't parented or weighted the ears. Automatic weights. Tab into pose mode. I got to get that right one of these days. And our ears are here. They're small. You can barely see them. See this one? Oh, that's what it is. This one does not have a control, but this one does. So let's make sure I'm not selecting the mesh as well. Deselect. There we go. Select this guy. Pose mode. Okay. So see, hey, look at that. Now we got a control for our ear. But this one doesn't have a control. But there's bones there. So that was kind of stupid. But anyway, so now you see, you can make anything. You can scale these bones. You can make anything with Rigify. So nothing really to see here. I just mess around with the rig a little bit more, do some parenting, and test it out, and talk about how awesome Rigify is. Absolutely amazing tool. Get into Rigify. Hopefully this helped. And happy rigging. All right, great. See you next time.